Okay, so you're following the trades of other individuals, right? Maybe they've been doing it for a long time or they just started and they've had some success. And so you're following their trades. But you're finding that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you lose big, sometimes you just lose a little, right? Whatever the case may be, these are moments where we want to be able to know how to read the chart for ourselves. Because as much as I say, okay, yeah, this is going to go back up to 153, NVIDIA is going to 153. I have no idea when. And if I don't have enough time on my side, when this contract does decide to pull back, I could be losing, right? Losing money versus being able to look at this and really evaluate it to make the right decision. Is this a swing trade? Is this a scalp? Is this a long term? Is it something I want to hold for a month, 3 months, a year? Right? Is do I have enough capital to be able to have this amount of money on reserve, right? Or in a space where I can't use it, right? So think about all these things as you are taking trades. And just remember, there's nothing like being able to read the charts for yourself. So right now, we're going to take a break and we are going to improve by studying how price moves. I am Denisha on a mission. Like, I am so honored and grateful that God opened my eyes to this at a point in my life where I had a big, huge transition. I had a baby, I had just had some health concerns, and just other things, and just navigating. And I come from a place of doing research and working beside other leaders and helping them build their businesses or their brands or their studies. And to be able to be home with my baby, I just knew I couldn't do those things right now. And one day I might return back to them, but those same skill sets could show up in a new way. And so I'm so grateful that God allowed me to be able to be in a space where I can just really focus on trading. Because this is something, not trading, but investing and buying shares. That's something I've been wanting to do since I was a teenager. Okay, a teenager. And through that journey, it was either just hold your money there, right? And just leave it, right? No real strategy, no nothing. Or that's a scam. Don't do that. Just different things I would hear, and I still wanted to do it, whether it's me learning like about insurance or, other types of investments. I knew that this was my path. However, I just didn't know how to get there. And in between, my passion was so much for building, helping entrepreneurs, helping to create spaces and platforms for other people to really be able to release their dreams and goals, that I am now on this mission to help entrepreneurs, help business owners be able to incorporate trading. And there's so many people online that I see, not so many, because I'm just thinking about the world that I be in online. But if I step outside of that world, I don't know many traders at all in my day to day. However, when I step into certain spaces online, there's a lot of signals being thrown. There's a lot of, different things. And like the last 2 months, I actually joined a Discord that has been very helpful. And I'll add the link here. But still, there's some trades that I took in there was like, no, you know what you're seeing. Don't ignore that. And yes, the move may come, the move may be made, but it might not be for another week. And can you sit in this trade and be in this much drawdown for a week? Right? Sometimes the answer is yes, sometimes the answer is no. You only got 2 weeks left in the contract, right? Do you preserve the capital that's left, or do you go ahead and stay in it, right? And why do you stay in it? Why are we doing these things? Not because somebody's telling us to do it, not because of what we feel. The candles are speaking, the candles are telling you. And again, you got to put on the hat of what strategy you're using. So, and then what your objectives are. And so anyway, I don't went into this longer tangent than I wanted to, but I wanted that I know was meant to be said. So let's jump right in. These sessions are meant to be really short and giving you just a break from trading. We are not taking any trade. I took a trade this morning and it was probably about a 15-minute trade and I made about 40% on it and I'm done. Right. And so I love talking in percentages because regardless if it's $100 that you made 40%, you made $40. That right there is huge because you can keep compounding that. And if I was to go to the bank, they're not giving me 40%. And as you do options contract and you continue to grow, you'll find that you can get more contracts. And now that 100 that you paid, maybe you pay 400 and then you multiply that 40 that you made, that 40% by 4 and you do the math. So it adds up. So anyway, we're going to back it on up. Again, I'm Tanisha on a mission, and right now we are improving by studying how price moves. Okay, so regardless of the indicator, regardless of the strategy, none of these work 100% of the time. Don't let nobody tell you that they work 100% of the time. Run from that person. Now, they do work, right? And it's probability. And if you know the nuances, if you know certain things that could help you on your journey, it could help you make a decision versus saying, yeah, I'm gonna take that trade because this person online been trading for however long and they said to buy and you buy it and now you're losing money, right? To be able to go and read these candles, read the charts, what is it all saying, and then also to know what's going on in the economy will help you. So that's the purpose of this session. So right now we're looking at NVIDIA. Go back to the video from yesterday. It's going to have a hashtag NVIDIA on there. And the date was May 28th, 2025. And you're going to be able to see my analysis in that window on what price action was doing. And it was right close to when it was closing. So maybe about 320, 330-ish. I did a review of NVIDIA right before their earnings. So the earnings by this, early part of the earnings, they had already reached $141. And as we can see, they ended up reaching 143.20. Now, depending on who you talk to, somebody might have said they reached $150. People be throwing numbers out. Again, you got to know this stuff for yourself. And so this line is not let me put it over here. This is not, actually, I'm going to put it back real quick. Let me put it back. This line is not a candle. This is what I made on here. So yesterday when we looked at this, we saw how, we've been having lower, some higher, basically creating lower lows. But then we had on April 4th, there started to be a pivot up, right? So what we saw was yesterday we were at the, not yesterday, yesterday we were here. No, we weren't. We were, okay, so we had pushed up, came down. Okay, so here we were yesterday. So yesterday we were at this very interesting point where it was a place of resistance. So we look to the left, we're going to be informed on what has happened. So all this is information. You can see 126.82, this area, 129.43, 131.66. So between here, even here, and here, we can see this is an area of that could have been resistance in the past, but then it turned into support. That support was broken, came all the way down, now came back up. And so where we were at yesterday was an area of interest because it was hitting this level of resistance. And we were like, okay, it was in a bull flag on the daily that it had started breaking out of this bull flag. So I measured from here to here of that pole, and I did it quickly, and I just copied it, and on average, and then put it right here where that candle was at from yesterday, and said, yeah, if this bull flag wants to carry out, we are going to go back to all-time high, which is 153.13, and it's lined right up with it, right? We could definitely meet back up here. It did not do that during earnings, but it doesn't mean over the next between today and tomorrow that there won't be a push. Like right now, it's 12:34 p.m. It's lunchtime EST. Lunchtime is very interesting. You'll see sometimes lower volume, but also you can see melt ups or meltdowns. So you just got to find what trading time works best for you and really learn that around your schedule and how to incorporate that in your schedule. And there are so many strategies. Okay. So if we look at that, we can see NVIDIA actually reached the 143.45, which is another level of resistance from February 18th. So we're going to come here and we're going to look to the left. What could have caused this to stop? Okay, we have this here from that February 18th. Okay, we have now here, it ended up being a level of support because these candles actually pushed past that, set right on it. But then as you can see, it came right back down. So will NVIDIA do the same thing it did here, right? Will it turn into an area of support and then reject and come down? We shall see. I mean, there's a lot of speculation in the market. Um, I'm thinking it might pull back again, and come down. I wanted to so I can buy some more stocks. However, at some point in life, it's gonna do that. So I just gotta be ready. Anyway, whole nother conversation. So right now we are at this level of resistance, and we're gonna see. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it down to the 15-minute chart. And we're going to see what's going on with these EMAs. So as you can see, price got pushed all the way back up. It rejected off of this 143.18, 19-ish level. And then we can see, so if somebody was in this, you can see this non-EMA, this blue one right here, this like electric blue color, is basically just been holding that area. So as long as it didn't fall below here, this was an indication to stay in this trade. Um, but you have to be very creative if you're setting different stops, because with all the different things about options, you have a fee, it moves really fast. You have delta and the volatility, all these other things all these other factors play a role in the intrinsic value and also the extrinsic value that make it up. So like if you was to put a 20-cent stop, it might not be exactly 20 cents. Long story short. So you got to be able to really watch it and just continue to practice. So anyway, we can see that we have the non-EMA, the VWAP, the 21 is the pink. We have the 50 right here. We have the 100, and then we also have the 200 EMA. And so price actually came down from this 143.84 and has been pretty much declining. So you see the drop, you see this base here, you see another drop, and then you kind of see this pop up with this base. But basically these candles, the price never came back above this 141.31-ish level. Now 140 is an area of like a psychological level, right? Because it's like 140, it's a round number, it's even. And so one is at 140.67. So it's going to be interesting to see what occurs. So right now it's sitting right here at this 100 EMA. So the 100 EMA has been around for a long time. This is like the story I'm sharing with myself. Uh-oh. All these spam calls, and that's not a real dog. My son changed my ringer, and I gotta remember to change that. He loves animals. Okay, so this is what I'm sharing with myself because I'm studying these EMAs. Again, not everything works 100% of the time, but when you get to this 100 EMA, it's like, okay, let me take this a little bit more. Let me take this serious, right? It already fell below the 50 EMA. We're at this 100 EMA. So this is a crucial spot, right, on if it's going to return. Now, if I look at formations, then it should come back down to this 187.77 if the formation takes shape. Like if this truly is going to hold. And with 140 being this level, we'll see with NVIDIA if buyers continue to buy it up and push it up higher, or sellers come in and just say, you know what, I'm taking profit, and they sell it, right? So, but if this formation plays out, so the thing about trading is what is the probabilities? What is the thing that can happen, right? So if you're in a call on this, then you're telling yourself, or you're longing this, you're telling yourself, okay, I see how price decline. I see how it fell past these EMAs. I see how this non-EMA is holding it right now, and then it's got the 100 that's holding it right here. But it's fell below VWAP, which VWAP shows that it's in a bearish status right now because now even though you got some buyers coming in pushing it up, it's a green candle, it's still under VWAP. So until it comes up above VWAP, then we can almost be like, it's not, I would not be getting into a call right here, right? Now other people might have other strategies. This is what works for me. You have to find what works for you. It's more of a probability for this to be to go and finish this formation. It's like lowercase h formation. And then also looking at, like, looking to the left. Now we do have these areas here, this thin structure here. And so, but again, it's holding this 100. So if this 100 is a pretty strong level, this, which also correlates with this 140 being a strong number, if that is the case, then it can potentially go higher, and we shall see. But if it doesn't, and if it finishes this formation, then it'll come down to this 138.77 level. And then if it breaks this level, this is when I would definitely be interested. But again, I would have to look at it again and assess it. But if it broke this level, I also understand that everybody is seeing it broke this level. So I would have to see receipts and then have a tight stop. Let me see. But I would have to be really thinking about it, because if it doesn't, then if it does fall, that's 138 all the way back down to 134. That's a nice move right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an alert. Before I do that, let's go down. So some people get kind of weird out about the 5 minute and the 1 minute. I look at it as more just helping me like really see the details and see what's happening with the move while I'm looking at the 15. So the 15 is going to keep me more in a state of, okay, if this happens, it's more of a stronger likelihood. But I love going down to the 5 minute and especially the 1 minute. Now, I do see the value in being on a higher time frame. It's just that when I want to know about price, and especially if I'm scalping, now if I'm not scalping, this is something different. So in this, I'm seeing that there's lower lows, right? But there's also a higher low, right? But also here, I see that price is curling up, right? So for me, it really needs to go back above VWAP that's right here and hold this 141.57 area. Well, probably because you got this here, but it needs to hold above VWAP here. So 141.48. Let's go back to the 15-minute chart and see where 141.58 is. 141. Yeah, so 141.58 is right here too above VWAP. So you would have to definitely go back and compare. Sometimes it might be 30 more cents, 50 more cents, a dollar more, off. Not off, but just in comparison. But if you go to different charts, you're going to be able to see, oh, okay, so right now we know that this 100 EMA, which is a strong EMA, right now is holding at this price of 140.57. All the EMAs are doing is following price. That's all it's doing. Following price. It's not setting the trend. Price is not following it. It's not keeping price down or keeping price up. It's just following price. And so it's showing that right now, buyers want to keep this at the 140 level. But also with the candle, we see that buyers came in, pushed it all the way up, right? This to this 140, 106. When the sellers came in, knocked it down. Let's see, knocked it down, about 70, close to 70 cents back down. So we see that sellers are more prevalent right here, right? Because of how the candle is forming. But however, we just have to, again, we just have to watch and see. But we also see that we have this line here. So for some people, this doesn't mean anything, right? But for me, it's me watching out, because this slow melt up, right, could then form into a reversal. And so we want to be mindful of that. So if I go back to the 1 minute, you're seeing it right there. And so you're seeing it go up. So it would have to break above here. But even here, then we have to think, okay, is this a double top? And if I was to wait, then I might say, you know what, let me wait until it gets here. Or maybe I'm okay with getting in here, having a tight stop, maybe outside of it, and seeing if it'll break out, right? So all these things, and there's other things to ask yourself to help yourself on the journey, and just looking at like the different candles, what they're communicating. Now, the 1 minute can freak you out, right? You see a large candle and you get out the trade, but the whole time it's holding a strong level, right? So we also have to be on the 1 minute, just use it for help with confluences until you get really good with it, because it can make you get out of a play early, or stay in a play longer when it really just faked you out, right? And not really faked you out. It really just made a move that then, made you question it. But if you go back to the, see, it's looking just like this candle right here. So for me, just seeing that, I would be cautious. Especially I'll look at the end of the day, because this candle could take off. Let's go to the 30-minute. Okay, so even on the 30-minute, it could be forming another bull flag. And then having, seeing that this is stair stepping up, and it's holding the 50 EMA here. So we shall see. We go back to, let's do that one there and see. Yeah. So right now we can see that the VWAP and the non-EMA are crossed. They've like intertwined and joined together. And so it's like, it's got like kind of like got this hunch, this U shape, and it's showing that price wants to go down. Even this 21 EMA house curled over and kind of pointing down some, is showing that it wants to go down. So we're gonna see, will Nvidia continue highs? Right now it's reached, not right now, but today it reached the 143.84. Will it continue highs over the next today and tomorrow, or will it start to pull back? Right now we're at 140.47. And according to the EMAs, it's showing that price wants to go down. Even now, you see the 50 have started to curl. The 100 got a slight curl. The 200 is kind of like just there. If it comes below here, then that definitely is a signal, a bearish signal, that we're going to be continuing down. But right now, we do see that price is under VWAP, the non-EMA, and the 21, which is also pointing more towards a bearish, um that it's going to go down further. Okay, so let's go, let me not go to the 1 minute, let's go back to the 15-minute. Primarily staying on the 15-minute is going to give you some really good information. And so if I was to take this trade, I would be looking for price to break about here. But then, you got to look at 139.79 to 138.79. It could bounce off here, this 200, and reverse. Again, price is going to do what price wants to do, and we just have to be able to react and then make that judgment, right? Do we look at this and say, because of my formation that I know, it's a high probability likely that it's gonna, if it breaks here, then we're gonna see some more downside for it's at least to touch this 138.79. We are at 12:48 p.m., so we still have time in the market. Now, price could stay here and toggle between the 9 and the 5 and the 100 EMA. It could just toggle in between here, back and forth, like you're playing ping pong, but you're not the player, you're the ball. Just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, getting hit, right? So I wouldn't necessarily get in at all right now. I've already done my training for the day, and it's part of my discipline to come on here and watch price and just improve that way. And then if it makes sense, take a trade. But right now, that's not what I'm doing. So we are evaluating, will it, since it failed, created this base, will it fall down to 138.73? Will price actually hold this 100 EMA and come all the way back up over VWAP and then get back to what's going to have to come here, 142.54? Yeah, and then it's probably got something in here and then here. But you would want to go to the daily and mark those levels. But if we go on the levels of the 15-minute, then we would have to see. All right. All right, let me know what questions or comments you have in the chat area. And just remember that God gave you this opportunity. And so I know you got work, I know you got other stuff you need to do, but allow this to be something of importance so that you can learn. So as you are listening to as you are listening to others, you can go back and check and be able to read the charts for yourself. And then also, if you have ideas, if you want to take a trade, if you're feeling like I just feel that this trade, this company is gonna go up, then you go back to the fundamentals, you read, you know about that company, you go and see what the chart is saying, what the chart is doing, what it's been doing, if they got earnings, any special things that's coming up, if they got a new trial, if they got new drugs, if they got that they're putting out, if they got new products and services, how tariffs affect that particular company, if there's some changes with the CEO. I mean, there's other factors because once we see the chart and we look at our technicals, there's other factors that can determine what happens that day, right? Because we can have some news come out and it continue even further down, right? And it pushes it down further. Or some catalyst. NVIDIA shares a top secret, but waits until the next day to release it. And it does this, and this. And they're not being affected by tariffs. Just, I don't know. I'm making up some on top of my head. But basically, other news can come out that make this be a catalyst to come up to this high. And so it's interesting because the last two earnings, the last one, it didn't move much. It was interesting. The one before it sold off, and now today we had that what about $7-ish increase. So will Nvidia continue up on to reclaim all-time highs? Will Nvidia pull back? What will Nvidia do? Will it just stay and chop in this area? Okay, we shall see. So again, thank you for joining me. This was a little longer, but I wanted to just touch on some more details. And I will be back, okay, talking about another company. If you have a company that you want me to do price action on, studying, looking at the VWAP, the EMAs, and other indicators, let me know. Oh, bless you. My baby just woke up. And that's the beauty of being able to trade, have your babies, and to be able to have that flexibility. Have your babies with you and have that flexibility. So, all right, I am Denisha on a mission, helping spreading these words and seeds of wisdom on our trading journey. And yeah, do what you want to do with this information. My thing is being able to come on and help others on the journey. And then also for me to continue to develop and grow as I continue to be in the trading and investment industry and also entrepreneurship. All right, have an amazing day and I'll talk to you soon. All right, thank you.